Vero has been quiet recently, but their hands have not been idle. The veteran microbrand is completing a soft relaunch with a new philosophy and new watches. Their first release with this new focus is the Open Water, a simple yet functional dive watch with plenty of power packed under the hood. Coming in at 40mm wide with a 47mm lug-to-lug, the Open Water aims to be wearable for all wrist sizes. The case profile is already relatively thin at 11mm, but thanks to a flat caseback and thoughtful case design, the wrist-to-crystal measurement is only 9mm. The Open Water practically disappears on the wrist in a good way. Even though the bracelet features male end links, the gentle turn down in the lugs and end links mitigate any added length on the wrist. I would have preferred female end links, but the overall design aesthetic works well. The Open Water breaks away from the pack of 120 click bezels, and Vero opted for a 60 click bezel. I prefer 60 clicks over 120 for a variety of reasons, but one of the main reasons is how it operates. Each click is solid and has a satisfying chunk to it as you rotate the bezel. Considering the minute hash marks are printed on the bezel as opposed to the dial, the 60-click bezel also makes functional sense. The Oyster-style bracelet may appear off the shelf at first glance, and while it doesn't feature any added creature comforts like quick-release end links or a quick micro-adjust system, it is solid and the links are fully articulating. The tolerances from the bracelet to the watch are tight and the entire package feels rock solid when on the wrist. The Open Water's dial is simple, clean, and effective. The text is kept to a minimum to maintain symmetry, and I am happy to see Vero put all the tech specs on the back of the watch instead of loading up the dial. Without a chapter ring or hash marks, the dial is distraction-free. These elements are contained on the bezel, and while this approach has been taken before, Vero's execution of it is flawless. The applied markers are outlined in black, creating an extremely subtle contrast between the dial and markers. This contrast isn't as subtle as on the North Coast, which is the gray dial variant, but it is still effective here. While there isn't a lot to talk about in terms of finishing on the case, as it and the bracelet are entirely bead blasted, the design is well executed. The case design is a mix of elegant curves and sharp angles. Most watches try to do one of these things, but Vero has nailed both. I was sure that the crown was going to be too small after seeing the launch photos of the Open Water. It is a small crown, but that doesn't mean it is too small. It sticks out just past the crown guards to ensure you have a little bit of real estate to get a grip. The knurling also provides enough bite so that winding the watch and setting the time is easy. I was curious why Vero hadn't launched anything in a decent amount of time, and after seeing the Open Water, I'm glad to see that they were biding their time well. The Open Water is a fantastic dive watch at quite a few higher price points, but at $875 on the bracelet, it is positioned perfectly. The Open Water is a great re-entry into the market for Vero, and while it is still a slight departure from their previous catalog of watches, it doesn't stray too far. If you were a fan of Vero before, or if this is the first time you've seen them on your radar, the Open Water is the perfect watch to dive in with. Thanks for checking out the video review. For the full written review, head over to watchclicker.com. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe.